Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tyra Omilade, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. And this is in particular more of like me vlogging just because I need to hold on to this moment. I was listening to Lada. Y'all know I listen to Lada, Astro Lada all the time. Not just Lada, but definitely, I listen to her on her channel. I also love April. But I was listening to the weekly horoscopes. I'm almost positive it was for this week, but maybe last week. And Lada was saying that Jupiter conjunct Mercury, which is happening today, if I remember correctly, Jupiter is leaving Sagittarius, I think this week. And I was like feeling so sad and depressed. But she said Jupiter will give us a gift, one last gift before it leaves and goes into Sagittarius, which is a great placement. But I just have loved having Jupiter in my sign of Scorpio. And so I have been wanting to work on my Aleka initiation, but I want to do it in the way I want to do it. For those who don't know what it is, it's when people hear the call to initiate into the Orisha Ifa tradition. And it's a ritual you can go through, not one that's done in Africa, but it's done over here in the West. I hate having to always qualify, but sometimes I just need to make sure I address that so that folks don't leave crazy comments. But I've been wanting to do it in a particular manner because I don't just want people to just get their lekes. I want people to get their lekes and it actually means something. And so this thought of this manual that I want to have, this thing that I want to put together, I've had pressure because I actually committed to some people that I will actually take them through the Aleka initiation. And I've been telling my friend Baba Omitosin, hey, we need to work together on this. And so he's like, when are we going to get it done? Because it has to be done by the end of this year because he's going to be doing some stuff. Then he won't have time. And so I just been feeling all of this pressure to get this thing like manifested and materialized in my head. And so today I forced myself to sit down at my computer and start typing this manual. And I almost sabotaged myself, but I just kept at it. And I actually have cranked out like some of the most important parts of this initiation manual that I'm putting together. And I just did it. I just finished just right now. And I was sitting here thinking, I'm so happy this finally came together. And I said, man, I'm so happy about this. And it came back to me what Lada said. Jupiter conjunct Mercury, this week in particular, we just might be gifted something. And I was gifted the ability actually really to channel this manual because I sort of knew what I wanted to say, but it's like this flow that happens and it just hadn't happened really because I haven't been doing a whole bunch of writing. And it happened. I've been gifted this flow, this muse that I remember having the last time Jupiter was in Scorpio and just about to leave. That's when my website was birthed. And then I thought about that dream I told you all about that I had during the eclipses of it was still winter, early like 2017 February. It was like in Pisces and Virgo. I dreamt that I died, and I left my gifts behind in this world. And one of my gifts is the gift of gab, the gift of writing, communication. That's always been something that I majored in English. Every place I go, well, when I work, I typically want to start a newsletter. I used to do that all the time before I became a stay-at-home mom. So it took me back to that dream too. And so, I just really wanted to take this moment just to really, first of all, I thought astrology freaking works. It really works. if we just listen to it. And it wasn't like I was listening to, oh, I'm going to get a gift. Let me sit down here and write this. It just, I allowed myself to be open to what I said I was going to do. The other thing is that I will just say to you, are you opening yourself to receiving a gift this week? It would be good if you know your chart, but Jupiter conjunct Mercury, that means clarity of the mind or illumination of the mind, great ideas. You're gifted through ideas. Maybe you are gifted through some positive communication. So I'll just tie it into, me logging in and typically doing my best to share something with you all. Just using what I'm on here for is just to really be one with this moment. But to also tie it into, perhaps you can be open to a gift related to Mercury and Jupiter. So Mercury conjunct Jupiter means that they're together. And that's why I'm saying positive communication, bright ideas, a flow of ideas, a flow, because Jupiter gives, and it gives a lot. Writing ideas, what else? I also relate Jupiter to, let's say, Elegua, Eshu. So this, a ramping up of our Ashe. We say that Eshu is the keeper of the Ashe. Eshu Elegua is the communicator with the deities. And a lot of times in Ifa, there will be no ceremony that we do that doesn't invoke the energy of Elegua, because Elegua is going to open the communication. So maybe your blessing is going to come in the form of hearing from up on high, because see, that's Jupiter. Jupiter is the highest wisdom. Jupiter is a teacher, so perhaps you are getting the gift of wisdom and inspiration from a teacher. You actually find a spiritual teacher that you're looking for. This is how we can look at Jupiter conjunct Mercury Monday, Tuesday, today, tomorrow. What's the day? The 29th. How could I ask what is today? It's my husband's birthday. The 29th and the 30th. These are the 2 days when I think I heard that energy is going to be pretty high. And so I've given you some themes, some things that you can think about, the blessings you get. The other thing is, Lada mentioned how a lot of Scorpios have said to her, I've got no blessings from Jupiter being in Scorpio. Because Jupiter moving into Scorpio is supposed to be the bomb.com. That's why we've seen a lot of revelations of all of these sex scandals and, folks that's been abusing folks is coming down. Stuff that's in the dark has come to light. But I liked what she said. Can you imagine if you had a bad year with Jupiter and Scorpio, how life would be if Jupiter was not there? Now, I will say Jupiter can bring some stuff you don't want, like in Scorpio. It might bring some more debt. It could bring an elevation of the trauma that needs to be healed. It's like, I can't get away from it, but I really believe what she said. What would happen if we didn't have this planetary alignment? And so bringing it to today, even if it seems like things aren't going your way, maybe they could be worse. See, that's the thing about Mercury, perception. That's the thing about Jupiter. It gives you the bigger picture. It lets you see this moment that's it. It's not the whole story. And that might just be what you need to get from Mercury conjunct Jupiter. So I'm on here all in bliss. Yours might be a little bit, maybe not so blissful, but you can get to that bliss, because sometimes that's really what gets me from being down and out. I think to myself, yeah, I didn't like this, but you know what? Things could be so much worse. And I have the ability to dig myself up out of this hole, perhaps, that I found myself in. All is not lost. That's a gift. And we're wanting to look for what are the gifts that we have coming our way from Mercury and Jupiter being right there together. And I think they work well together too. True. That's right, Tracy. With Halloween, the veil is thinner. The veil is thinner. I really need to talk about that, Donna. I will say that this is an ancestral time. You know, I didn't used to, I always wanted to make this spiritual, but sometimes it just takes time because I'm not all the time into that pagan calendar. I'm just being 100. You know, if folks teach me about it, I'll catch it. But anywho, but, and of course I was raised Catholic, so I have that connection. But Scorpio is the time of death and dying. It's the time of the old ways. And it is about going into the darkness. I see Scorpio as being very much like Oya. And of course, Oya is the guardian of the graveyard. You go to Oya, you want to deal with Oya? Go to the graveyard. You know, she helps the ancestral souls. She'll help us cross on over. And so this is why it makes so much sense that Halloween is during the time of Scorpio. Scorpio is all about the veil. It's all about taboo, deep spirituality. Going into the darkness, searching for what's really there in order to, it's crazy. Sometimes when I go, when it's dark, it's like I'm powerful. The power sometimes lies in the darkness. And the darkness is not negative. It's just different. It's different from the light. The light is good and the darkness is good. And so, yes, the veil is thin for us to be communing and working with the ancestors. So thank you for that, Tracy. I really need to come up with my own rituals because Halloween does nothing for me. I'm not into dressing up, none of that. But, you know, I need to find something to do because, yeah, I like that. I see, I'm proud of you, Tracy. That was good. That was good. Yes, so T Gaines, what do you know anything about your astrology? I know you probably know your sun sign. Do you know your ascendant? Because Scorpio definitely deals with debt, the energy of Virgo. We don't really have anything in Virgo right now, but Virgo sometimes deals with debt also. And but Scorpio definitely taxes and debt. We have to watch out because debt, Scorpio a lot of times is dealing with other people's resources and money. Cancer ascending, shoot, where is that? Right across from Cancer is I have to, oh, Aries, Sun, and Moon. Okay. Let me just talk Aries because I haven't gotten to that point where I can really know all the houses. But let's say we're just dealing with your house of Aries. Then, yeah, from your Sun, no question, you could be dealing with finances, looking at your finances and looking at what are the sources of other people, what sources of money and resources do you have from other people that you could be using? For me, it's just, I need to get this debt situation handled. Because, yeah, we can be dealing with debt, taxes, different things like that. Because, of course, if you have debt, you use somebody else's money to make a purchase or whatever you're buying or whatever. But Cancer is Capricorn, 7th house. Capricorn, Sagittarius. Oh, 5th house then. Yeah, I think Scorpio is your 5th house. Oh, it is your 5th house, T Gaines. So it could be that you are, you know, going to get inspired to do more, learn more, and because Jupiter's been in your 5th house. And so what you have done is set the tone for the next 12 years. So it could be just that you're learning, because Jupiter a lot of times has to do with learning. So it could be that you are going to be learning more over these next 12 years about finances, debt, and, shifting yourself. You could even be somebody who becomes a person who teaches folks how to get out of debt. Yeah, it could become a side gig for you. Yeah, Tracy, I agree. The what is that? Dias Los Muertes. That is definitely a beautiful ceremony, and I say this with much respect. Most Mexicans got Afro in them, so I feel connected. I feel connected to any rituals they potentially could be doing. So that's a very good suggestion. I've looked into it and loved the tradition, but I just don't practice it or whatever, just because I wasn't raised up like that. But maybe I have a friend from Mexico who is very much into the indigenous tradition, so maybe I could do that with her. All right. Thank y'all for logging on and sharing with me. And I wish you all very well. Pretty soon I'm going to post, because I'm so glad. Y'all just are helping me today. People have been saying, I want you to mentor me. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do, because it's like, that's all I can say, you know? And so the other day, somebody mentioned this to me. Oh, will you be my mentor? And I'm like, I don't really know what I can do, but I'll come up with something. So finally, I have created what I think could be ways that people can engage with me if they want something more than what I post on my YouTube channel. So I'll be posting that soon. What another gift that I've gotten. That came to me yesterday. Yesterday. Another gift that I have received from Mercury and Jupiter through thought and words on the computer screen. So love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And if I don't log back on before Halloween, happy Halloween. Peace.